to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you into the kitchen today where we're going to be making my favorite banana bread recipe. I have used this recipe for over, well, let's just say over 30 years. And this is going to be one of several videos showing you how I'm going to use the leftover nuts from making the extracts. And today is banana bread. So now my banana bread recipe is quite a bit different from a lot of people's recipes, but that's okay. Everybody should be just a little different. Now you can use chocolate chips in the recipe. This time I'm leaving them out because I don't have enough to spare, but I'm saving my chocolate chips for the next video. Okay, first off we're going to want to get our dry ingredients together. Let's try to get it where y'all can see and hear me better. Alright, first thing first, dry ingredients. Now I'm going to be making 2 loaves, so I'm going to be doubling the recipe, which it does not mess this recipe up at all. First off, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and I have 2 loaf pans already greased and ready to go. And in the description box below I will have the single recipe, because you know I don't get to do just single recipes around here. Okay, first ingredient, and like I said, I'm going to be doubling it. I'm going to need, if it's a single one, 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And you're going to want to measure this in a separate bowl or container. And like I said, remember I am doubling the recipe, so it's going to look a whole lot more than what it is. Next, I'm going to want salt. You're going to want a teaspoon of salt. And yes, I'm using my usual pink Himalayan salt. And I'm going to want a teaspoon of baking soda. And remember, I'm doing a double batch. And I'm going to want a teaspoon of baking powder. And you're going to want to mix those very well. Okay, and set those aside. And this is going to be the big mixing bowl. Now if you have a mixer, you can use that. Now for a single recipe, you're going to need 5½ tablespoons of room temperature butter. And of course I'm doing a double batch, so that's why it looks like a whole lot more. You can use cane sugar. I've changed the recipe just a little bit a long time ago, and I like to use light brown sugar. It gives it a different depth of flavor. And you're going to want 2/3 of a cup of light brown sugar. And what I like about it is it gives it just a tad bit of a little bit of molasses in there. And yes, I use Domino. And I'm going to hand whisk these together. Alright, now I'm going to want to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, homemade vanilla. You got to love it. And like I said, I will have the single batch recipe in the description box below. And I'm going to want to add, if I was doing a single batch, 2 large eggs. Come on. It's going to be difficult, ain't you? There we go. Give me a minute, I'm going to wash my hands. And you're going to want to mix these together very well. You want to make sure everything is incorporated. Let me tell you, this smells amazing. Okay. Set that aside for a minute. Now, we're going to talk about bananas, also known as nanners. You want your bananas to be dark. The darker the better, means they're ripe and they're going to be sweet. Don't get all squeamish, because those bruises and spots only means those bananas are ripe. Most people have been taught to eat green bananas. Those bananas are not ripe. A couple of these. Oh, the oven's ready. A couple of these I would like to have a little bit riper, but you work with what you got. Now, usually 2 bananas or 2.5 bananas will equal 1 cup of mashed bananas. You're going to need, for a single recipe, a cup of mashed bananas. I'm just going to use 5 because I'm doing a double recipe. And I want plenty of banana flavor. Like I said, I would prefer these to be just a little bit more, as some people call, ugly, because the banana flavor will be even better in them. And they smell so good. Actually, if the bananas are black on the outside and not too bad mushy on the inside, those are your best ones. And what you want to do is take your whisk and mash those babies up. You can also use a fork as well. But since my whisk is already dirty, that's why I use my whisk. And I'm going to tell you right now, that don't look like no 2 cups of bananas. So, I was lucky and caught bananas on clearance yesterday. And you better believe I bought those ugly bananas. It's okay to have small little chunks of bananas, but the more you can get them mashed up, the more they'll get all in that loaf of banana bread. And you want to get all of that banana out of that bowl and into this big bowl. You don't want to waste any of this. Okay, now we're going to add slowly our dry ingredients. And you're just going to want to whisk them in. I'll keep that to the side. You want to make sure you get it good and incorporated, because you don't want to come bite into a real big, beautiful piece of banana bread and hit some raw flour pocket. Okay, now I know you're wondering, well, where are the nuts? Well, hold on, we're not done yet. I'm not about to sing yet. Okay. Excuse me. Well, I chose to use the pecans. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop them up a little bit. It ain't hard work. And as you can tell, they've lost a lot of their color. And quite a bit of their flavor, but that's okay. I'm not going to waste them. I'm going to keep using them. No, you don't. No escapees. I don't want them too small pieces, but I don't want them too big. As the little bear said, just right. And of course, you can chop them up whichever size you want. They still have a little life left in them. They're not crunchy and hard because they've been soaking in that vodka for so long. But I refuse to waste them. You want to make sure you don't waste anything. And now we're going to mix these up in here real good. Oh my gracious, it smells good, and it's not even baking yet. Alrighty, you want to make sure they're good and incorporated and covered in batter. Okay. And like I said, I'm doing a double batch, so I have 2 loaf pans. Now, I bought these loaf pans on clearance. They really kill me. I can't help it. See the lines on the bottom? It's for those who don't know how to cut slices of bread, and I'm just laughing. I can't help it. It's funny. We didn't have this when I was younger. We didn't need it. We had common sense enough to know how to slice bread. And of course, since I'm doing a double batch, you've got to make sure that you get the same amount. Or close to the same amount in each pan. remember a long time ago when I used to sell my baking goodies at craft fairs, and I'd be making 6, 7 batches of the banana bread or so at the same time. Let me tell you, that will build up the old arm muscles too. And they're pretty much even. Oh my gracious, yeah. Now, every once in a while, I do this little trick. I usually don't add cinnamon to it. If you wanted to, you could make a cinnamon sugar. And I just gently sprinkle the brown sugar on top. And it just gives it a little bit of crunch and just a tad bit extra sweetness, because it's not a really, really sweet bread. But let me tell you, it's a banana bread without a doubt. And like I said, my oven is heated to 350 degrees. And you want to make sure you put them in to where both pans have space between them so that the air can circulate around them. Now, it's going to take 50, 60 minutes. Start checking it at 45 minutes. It all depends on your oven. When a knife or toothpick stuck in comes out clean, it's done. You can also usually tell if quick bread is done. It will pull from the sides. And I will bring you back once it comes out of the oven. See you back here in a bit. Okay, the banana bread is ready. I checked it a while ago, and I'll show you how to check it. And it comes out perfectly clean. You're going to want to set it somewhere, like on your eye or something where it can cool. See, perfectly clean, nothing sticking to it. Now, if you add chocolate chips to the banana bread, be expected that when you put your knife in and you bring it out, there'll be some melted chocolate on your knife. You don't want to see any of the bread batter on your knife. Now, I'm going to let it cool for about 10 minutes, then we're going to take it out of the pan. I'll see you back here in a bit. Okay, it has cooled for about 10 minutes, and you're going to want to be very careful. Take them out of the pan. Like I said, do not worry. Banana bread will always be dark. But look at that beautiful loaf. And what's even better, Look at that beautiful clean pan. Yeah, it's got to be washed, but it's not sticking. That's the main point. You've got to grease your pans well, have good pans. And look how beautiful that is. And that's what I laugh about, showing you where to cut. Okay, and I'm going to let these completely cool down. Here we go. Look at that beautiful, beautiful loaf. Oh my gracious, it smells good. A banana pecan bread. And I'll bring you back after a while once it cooled down and we do a taste test. Okay folks, it's time to cut the bread. Right. Oh, look at that beautiful loaf of fresh banana bread. Look at that. Good and moist. Oh, this is what I've been waiting for. Let's see how good it tastes. I know how good it's going to taste. Oh my gracious, it's good. Oh my gracious. It's been too long since I've made banana bread, let me tell you. And you can taste the pecans in it. It's just absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm going for another piece. I can't help it. This is easy, simple. Anybody can make this bread. Absolutely delicious and homemade, folks. And yes, you can do it. And those pecans taste amazing in this bread. Oh, that is so good. Now, I will have the recipe in the description box below. It'll be the single batch recipe, but you can double, triple, quadruple this recipe up to as much as you want to make. Homemade, simple, and not wasting the nuts from making the extract. I hope you will do the same thing and that this encourages you as well. Everyone, take care. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Please keep prepping those pantries, stocking them as much as you possibly can. Grow what you can, get what you can, and do what you can. Quit letting people paranoia you and put you down, because you know now all of a sudden some of it's not enough. Well, excuse me. Do what you can. Stay safe, stay sound, keep your head on a swivel, and stay positive. You got this. You're not alone. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. May you each be blessed. I'll see you soon.